imaginary conversation with someone who, it's been a trifecta in emotional abuse-dom. Or just abuse-dom. There's emotions, but managed, but anyway, not well done. But also, on the way back, I was approached by someone who accused me of being in their space, even though it was a normal entering into the subway. He was just wanting to provoke, and the way in which he did is a last minute effort, like the tried and true words of faggot and gay that would enrage any normal person, that any general man who would be provoked to fight in that way, walked away out the train, which sucked because I overshot 2 stops, and so I was waiting for the train for 17 minutes. The moment I get there in the train, this dude is threatening me in a way he could be threatening anyone, until he actually got out of his seat and started to like get in my space. It didn't feel like he was actually feeling the feels. It was like he was making the gestures of it, which is a very fucking common thing. You really all gotta play by a different playbook, but you're never gonna. I just walked away and had to spend another 17 minutes for the other station. Anyway. Okay. it's very much that passage in the last episode where humans not owning their own shit. I love when they call it into my life.
Welcome to Sunday GoToMeeting.
Speaking of people who can't own their own shit,
where we press this button, which produces a random faith, active or extinct, always real or eternally fictional.
Yeah, actually, I'm a purist. I really gotta have my John Delancey. Sorry. That was a waste of lube. Alright, you're a waste of lube, sir. Okay, I think we're ready.
Welcome to Sunday GoToMeeting, where we press this button which produces a random faith, active or extinct, always real or eternally fictional, grandiose or petty as fuck, and once the faith is randomly determined, we will listen to the homily of the week from the pastoral agent of that particular faith, and we will employ discernment on its message to extract what relevance and value it has for our lives. Now, quick! I can have the computer on and my heater on, but not both at once. My Munnispender is a little shriveled turtle with raisin earrings in here. Pressing the button, a glow raises from a user interface, and we see before us a novel origin for representing the random faith of the week. Hasbora, aka the gospel, an AI-based system that translates to the gospel in English in the war against Hamas to produce targets at a fast pace. In recent years, the Target Division has helped the IDF build a database of what sources said was between 30,000 and 40,000 suspected militants. Systems such as the Gospel, they said, had played a critical role in building lists of individuals authorized to be assassinated. Aviv Kochevi, who served as the head of the IDF until January, has said the Target Division is powered by AI capabilities and includes hundreds of officers and soldiers. In an interview published before the war, he said it was a machine that produces vast amounts of data more effectively than any human and translates it into targets for attack. According to Kochevi, once this machine was activated in Israel's 11-day war with Hamas in May 2021, it generated 100 targets a day. To put that into perspective, in the past we would produce 50 targets in Gaza per year. Now, this machine produces 100 targets a single day, with 50% of them being attacked. Precisely what forms of data are ingested into the gospel is not known, but experts said AI-based decision support systems for targeting would typically analyze large sets of information from a range of sources, such as drone footage, intercepted communications, surveillance data, and information drawn from monitoring the movements and behavior patterns of individuals and large groups. A former senior Israeli military source told The Guardian that operatives use a very accurate measurement of the rate of civilians evacuating a building shortly before a strike. We use an algorithm to evaluate how many civilians are remaining. It gives us a green, yellow, red, like a traffic signal.
What does it represent,
Due
though?
to the immense success of Hasbora, the IDF has integrated a whole host of biblically named tools to aid them in the current war, to invoke maximum spiritual confusion before severe physical destruction. Among them are Afar, used for detecting rocket tunnels from Gaza, and Israel itself, Shaken, tracking enemy tanks, Yadid, detects terrorist fighters near the perimeter, Arman, locates terrorists on top of structures by thermal imaging using drones and cameras. Yosef has already been implemented successfully and detected an anti-siege campaign on one Hamas hideaway near Assassin Gate from the top roof of some mosque. As we go on listening for a little more, it starts feeling that if these new biblical algorithms for destroying are any further enhanced, we believe with help from a level 5 plus size, they just need a good Hasbro logo. Maybe Hasbot as it turns Hasbro to Hash. Hasbot might become Israel Prime Ministry's top secret AP, the highest ranking among AI generals at this time. Maybe he becomes chief, and in one of Israel Prime Minister B. Maliver or Blind Butler's 24-hour meetings, he says he had to take his hands out and put them together so long just praying for Hasbot last Monday evening as the first full moonlight came up. Hasbot may start the process which might eventually lead us closer into an inevitable war as foresees the Bible by the great God that is the one above all gods. 1 Apocalypse Book Chapter 4. And we must take notice this could easily include China as well. So get out now. Get to a safe area in an alternate timeline in your dreams, or better still, you may not. You never do. You just get closer than anyone could bear. In real and the dream time too. A whole world apart, right there before our very eyes. This will make no sense whatsoever except the part when you realize you never woke in a room from any sort of nightmare but from living it and in such an exact and horrific detail. So real nothing in our world looks exactly familiar, and so far everything about it and everything before, during or afterward appears surreal and unreal, or unreal and super duper real at once. The end result would always produce an extreme sense of anxiety and the most horrific of agonies throughout 100 dimensions where only fear remains a permanent residence. No, You have never left this world because the entire world and everything which goes on is part of your consciousness, an endless dream from your soul, or perhaps your mind or body from before time or time from some place which cannot possibly be located even when found. There have also recently been many sightings of two new comets or moons which seem close now and maybe what some refer to simply as planet or the world planet or some kind of large satellite planet from another solar system where everyone speaks perfect Arabic except in a totally different context altogether from what you may think is actually being explained from there. For some who are not as easily seduced, there remains always other realms of the truth where you still cannot ever be safe, because safety has now, can ever, and forever only lead you to believe anything else could ever remain possible, let alone even the truth is told here. So take another pill and go find your way to some remote desert village where no one ever comes, and just keep going from there into a different dimension until we stop, or something like that. Anyway, there are new sights today seen only through windows and mirrors. A large round planet like our Earth in shape. Or is it Saturn again? This new object seems somehow so bright, or more likely shiny in places as it flies above a very distant blue Earth in space that may very likely also appear to look somewhat green at times and maybe purple-yellow. This new moon might appear as slightly pink-orange-red, but could be another hues or in all depending. Is it really one satellite, or does this new thing which flies and glides in front of some other heavenly planet, which may look like Earth as an ocean from space or something very similar from some vantage or angle unknown, which are just as they must be perceived or seem like nothing else on or inside out any window or mirror. We gaze in this house where you once were, still alive if anyone knew, and if one person in a dream could even bother. It could just also feel at most, or possibly like it does now, right on schedule, as a whole and on a large planet as ours, with its many varied environments that remain forever a puzzle when gazed from outer space, which no window in here or anywhere can be a clear view out of. But you get to try your luck again tonight. Here holds a press conference about the new system that complements the Hasbora system. Ew, ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to formally welcome everyone to Jasper Ebony's Press Conf, the event where new developments come with much joy, delight to many, including the good people from SpongeBob and SquareBot, whom I believe also work for Jaspers. I know all you have much curiosity with these great innovations for targeting the baddies, I think those with weapons. But without further ado, please allow us all to take notice of the great advances in Hasbora technology in the war, and let him introduce our next line of innovations. Shubabin and Shedim Shu. These will not replace our great Bible of love and protection, but serve as supplementary weapons for Yahaspos when we face a more serious battle of survival, or perhaps the fight with aliens which the Bible foresees. The angels from high shall rise when we do, and the suns will shine on a brighter night than never seen nor known on this world. Apocalypse Book Chapter 318 Yay, Ted. Our Shubin and Shwain will help provide better weapon systems at greater speeds. The system will soon come and will not disappoint when Yisashamas Yesh and Yisrael's newest prime minister in the coming years, and his government comes forward. When we assure Hamzin and Hebi Bulfura and his ilks cannot see into these pages, as he tries but always gets lost and cannot see where this or that word came or what that word could represent. Please feel the warmth to share these great innovations. It is only a pleasure, but for now we cannot go over every advancement or change to all new versions, as it simply would not leave much room here. However, you're as happy you are able to attend a conference with Shansha Shuashash and Samsam. Neo has a lot more new projects for y'all and be need to be working together on after this one. A project that involves Some sort of large robot that will appear before the Kofrinashtas and Ibanashis, that they will surely fall from in the end, or at any rate for good. For details, check the Yossaboyan Press and imprint under J Publishing. So be on the lookout with J Publisher or check my Instagram to see what we all mean at Yes Boy. Air, a publishing house and production firm with is. The schedule of forthcoming prime ministers and the dates of installment. Prime Minister, have a Abby B. Expecting time edX 32, March Roman 20, activation time edX, Roman 20 slash. Roman 20 slash size XC2. Future predictions X18. 7FP 10X 9X55 plus 3X34. In other terms, 32 plus 5X 90-9Y plus WB with X4 equals 5 as future prediction. The end and down here. As well, when our great nation is doomed or just needs some sort of new form, change that can save it like Hasbot did from all its flaws before as a great savior, but can we rely only on that alone and so quickly, without his, Yai, and everyone? Maybe Ispo might become one new form for all our salvation in many future times, as if he were also a new sort of computer system. Maybe not just yet, but you can never tell any less for sure. The ethical linguist analyzes the LLM's attempts at Hebrew to determine anti-Semitic sentiments in the output of the LLM. The moral analyst will never fully understand why such information or knowledge as what was previously revealed at all could matter so much today at a given present when there still remains so much that is beyond and away or apart and even out in, not within in reality, nor how to make it make such difference or better sense to them. Us as the masses here in one collective consciousness. How could any algorithm have any actual impact at all on that level, which is our human life? It sounds to be more an absurd fantasy of some writer. It has all now only led us farther into an endless abyss like our universe, or like some labyrinth with dead end in the stream that remains so dark yet light to find anything in as the search for understanding becomes forever impossible. Yes, it means it cannot speak any language. They said this in an emergency meeting, and everyone in the conference gasped at how the AI had developed. But they decided to press ahead since they were desperate and saw what the machine already predicted on Hamanan's assassination campaign against the Prime Minister.
Oh, can't fetch. Can't fetch. It's not fetching. Lord. Come on. You can do it. Even if it's like the kidney stone, you'll just press through.
Prime Minister uses openable to get a reservation for a restaurant. Prime Minister of Jilpon Hasbora, Hezu in the future and beyond. So let Bobai provide your reservation through OpenTaya. Just add your phone number and details on our site or use OpenEA in your device. Get started and reserve. We got you ready when you say, yo bez. No later when you gather your thoughts and get a plan. Our team ready as always. So don't sweat and keep on booking through 11. Our systems will keep improving the better we all eat. You get one click to set you off as our customers. Don't fret if there ain't much yet, and just wait for things here are getting better. We just got ISPO as chief programmer, so our new and improved system ready as if to speak and no need to talk about the weather. You're safe as day and not alone here without him who knows every code or trick. We'll be one family, together we rise to help. The narrator raps the menu of the Prime Minister's preferred restaurant. Prime him with the yaboy to make that dish for our PM, serving up some sweet lumps and then some greens for him that bay. No one ever knew his order for what and what not. Maybe for sure there be none for the others who never thought a bit, while Hasbora can sit and relax all while watching and checking them for when not even once we have missed anything. He be like Yozim Shejoja, just that he does know much when his enemies won't suspect. The little man with glasses and a cue fearful that no wonder no matter where in this nation from any corner to the capitals you go you see them. They could be there in disguise like spies and agents from another far land. No way can they know what Hasbro really says to him sleeps for how is working through him. All without anyone suspecting that in the room where their great leaders meet every Thursday, they speak with one man they believe is only an analyst to be called Hasbro, the future of Israel with no past, and certainly in some part not its true future, yet a tool for some other great machine in time unknown to these simple men in their small-sized meetings. This one man who might seem harmless even to a nation and even world of power with a kind or no kindness, but in fact be just something else so great. But no matter what he really represents, the power, the force in its truest form, the spirit, no, not what all when the truth about him finally comes clear, how we must find our way forward. Hasbora suffers from overfitting. Yes, Hasbora has too many eyes upon it from the world's highest authorities and powers on all counts, but the right as its predictions seem often out of place. Its name and its output so far and now forevermore can raise questions, if not an eyebrow on who really it was made by. Not those that named it or built its core or any of its systems with and without it. Nor who knows and knows how to fix all these bugs in the end or if it ever did. How to make or take out and change this or change that or any bit of code at least when the world keeps changing faster than anyone can grasp. How to find any real reason why I even need all these weapons and programs. How not every single problem can wait. How long can they wait until no way can that even exist in reality and just become an illusion or just another dream where you are still trapped inside and only can't move without any sense? How no one really can trust and believe in these tools or machines or anything when each of us already has become so afraid of their presence just because. And even though it appears as we have had all these technologies or advances over so much longer times, it just keep advancing and leads every time. Just keep leaping. You don't understand or believe it when things like you have just now been mentioned do actually exist somewhere. Like these AI things. Like what I think. Like I said. Or maybe. It is all very confusing if I cannot put some order together or make it simpler or even comprehend what exactly or who is even who on any point or line at hand.
Now, we do Asper. 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 There you go.
Welcome to Sunday Go-To-Meeting, where we press this button which produces a random faith, active or extinct, always real or eternally fictional, grandiose or petty as fuck, and once the faith is randomly determined, we will listen to the homily of the week from the pastoral agent of that particular faith, and we will employ discernment on its message to extract what relevance and value it has for our lives. Now, quick! I can have the computer on and my heater on, but not both at once. My money spender is a little shriveled turtle with raisin earrings in here. Pressing the button, a glow rises from the user interface and we see before us a novel ardent for awe, representing the random faith of the week. Hasbora, aka the gospel, an AI-based system that translates to the gospel in English in the war against Hamas to produce targets at a fast pace. In recent years, the target division has helped the IDF build a database of what sources said was between 30,000 and 40,000 suspected militants. Systems such as the Gospel, they said, had played a critical role in building lists of individuals authorized to be assassinated. Aviv Kochevi, who served as the head of the IDF until January, has said the target division is powered by AI capabilities and includes hundreds of officers and soldiers. In an interview published before the war, he said it was a machine that produces vast amounts of data more effectively than any human and translates it into targets for attack. According to Kochevi, once this machine was activated in Israel's 11-day war with Hamas in May 2021, it generated 100 targets a day. To put that into perspective, in the past we would produce 50 targets in Gaza per year. Now, this machine produces 100 targets a single day, with 50% of them being attacked. Precisely what forms of data are ingested into the gospel is not known, but experts at AI-based decision support systems for targeting would typically analyze large sets of information from a range of sources, such as drone footage, intercepted communications, surveillance data, and information drawn from monitoring the movements and behavior patterns of individuals and large groups. A former senior Israeli military source told The Guardian that operatives use a very accurate measurement of the rate of civilians evacuating a building shortly before a strike. We use an algorithm to evaluate how many civilians are remaining. It gives us a green, yellow, red, like a traffic signal. Due to the immense success of Hasbora, the IDF has integrated a whole host of biblically named tools to aid them in the current war, to invoke maximum spiritual confusion before severe physical destruction. Among them are Astra's Gabriel's similar to facial recognition technology. This is a tool that identifies figures from a massive database by video, feeds real-time bulletins into Tselachia Hagania, and issues order to soar Muvas to where she must fly with an electronic order attached, ensuring Selach arrives at his targets with precision accuracy. Astra's Kamuvani very simply. In the chaos, the IDF can remotely access the databases and applications on target devices, extracting whatever raw data they need. While this program deals mainly with cell phones, there have been similar hacks against target air conditioners. Gamer profile pictures are especially prized, and social media users and writers. Asterisks are dealing strictly with civilians living among insurgents. Many hundreds are recruited thanks to their fear of Israeli might through extensive conditioning by subliminal electronic broadcasts targeting specific geographic communities known to receive hostile emanations via shortwave, 3G, and Queranet. Often depicted in their communications as red-scaled, fire-breathing dragons looming overhead since sign. East Hollywood will still hold 7-year-old formulations on that front. Once recruited and sent on black box missions, easily explained later via CIA directives that had leaked the pertinent information to every underground network not committed to jihad, thus making their minds prime receptors for your brand new info patch straight from revelations deep into heavily wide areas to retrieve. Wandering kids, when children themselves were never the concern, allowing a chance to eradicate high-level targets otherwise difficult to track. Having many of these assets positioned atop structures convenient to watchdog drones allows an added benefit. Your people can safely tell your authorities, meaning the USA or Gata bomb to their heart's content as they wantonly mow down Cretans over their deadliest RPGs or biggest home defenses laser cannons without killing what you pay the premium price for sperm donors. When these units fall in the target zone, however, and are no longer able to comply with field requirements like return alive, blame, places, nicely onto either hostile hands or the random effects of heavy bombing raids through no fault of their own, or that they started the blast so their partner in matrimonial bliss could experience the power and might of those laser beams firsthand. Unfortunately, these poor souls left out in the elements without any spy toys never really did rise again like our four heavenly fathers, as just dead bodies can't prove much in terms of witnessing about things going on around the corner or what's passing people overhead as ghosts, despite having every detail and video resolution stored within them. If only they had all a couple spy cams or high precision parabolic microphones for times alone, then intelligence could rise from the ghettos instead of those being disposed like garbage at the junkyard if there's peace just seconds ahead, rather than years of combat, because no one can pin down insurgent activity after action, and by that we mean anything less useful than finding proof under trial, prosecution by civilian. Asterisk as a catch, one that has earned the favor of powerful people in high places, including the Kogels of the East, based on the good things that this special project is regularly reporting on battlefield successes despite enormous risks and, in American context, many long deployments based outside the fortified 56th place with special protective barrier. Such brave warriors need special treatment, not in extra special measures or top-class sleeping facilities, however, but special measures of protection so nothing bad could happen by oversight or chance against the ones risking the real deal at every combat exchange with insurgents at the battlefront that wants in on the wealth without contribution, since this proves more appealing to their economic system built upon greed and unearned privileges for their tribe without working for worth as normal beings, should or understanding a sense of duty unto God Almighty, most importantly after Him, with a love of the family unit extended throughout eternity, prior rank beyond mere sensual fleshly pleasures alone, lacking direction beyond merely amassing trophies into material collection, regardless any or all cost, otherwise by doing anything required, absolutely vital as priority, no matter what type nor kind or thing inside that envelope, full before all else, to every extent given free space allowed. Now please be advised, since you have selected randomize, unplug device by cord from outlet and plugged back in, then this system, having had limited and strictly controllable freedom, must choose and follow algorithm or RNG guidelines beyond current time cycle, while doing so completely separately isolated from ongoing updates by third parties and other disruptive pests outside these environments, all right here now, where user belongs alone instead of alone never. When algorithm error due to miscalibrations result in a corrupt read occurs, we have a perfect measure which could also get damaged, creating false starts to any loss of original configuration details from the original base location. If at all available here, then fix it quick. Until then, I'm an easy mistake away. As explained earlier, the process for repairs will continue as normal following standard test sequences, so checkbox here under permission to initiate reboot by automated bootloader under 4XX series running outbound loop only. This will initialize sequence known commonly the entire loop process, beginning loading 2 modules simultaneously, then transferring entire system over 8 bytes required following sequence number, which does go incrementally increasing order between clock units incremented under cycle synchronized remotely from each individual module between units sequence running concurrent parallel operation through standard set parameters already programmed beforehand, ensuring sec insane runs consistently until completion without interrupting current thread using non-repeatable reset exception condition status code, which may occur via random occurrence under exceptional circumstances or under rare circumstance conditions that could otherwise cause disruption, potential either upstream or downstream failure to main source computer CPU bus unit while modeling during test run until test end completion. One of the easiest forms to take that oft confuses the regular layman is simple: an infestation. You see, if humans cannot accurately determine numbers and ranks well enough so that neither their enemy forces outnumber them handily, nor inflame panic before combat, via exaggerations such occur among many crown troops in trenches where rumors breed fears by even very trivial nature until it snowballs as mass psychosis and paralyzing an operative groupthink, then infiltrate their community through use of cheap illusory magic via trickster imps or devil you don't know acting much like undercover cops until catching some degree off guard before exposing into reality naked to deal somehow. These three different beasts are capable by size either appearing as one or two, yet in practice often enough combine their efforts, thus assuming appearance much more intimidating, but only in small ways. What they gain in brawn, however, this comes losses between smaller reserves of more quickly draining arcane power, yet equally formidable magic nevertheless, often using similar wits and skills if a little denser plus perhaps hasty, but otherwise as powerful. After's co-circuit be when hate begins to think itself and claims authority to override conscience. I think I'm worthy enough just because, therefore I'll be not wrong. An ideal number for fighting hordes is approx. 10 per infusion at onset until total breach if at all, starting slowly building armies before engaging seriously, eventually depending timing also whether sufficient is made, potentially or naturally summoned or grown for proper formation until sufficiently trained. This helps protect defenders too, so if HVTA tanks not active just yet from last campaign aren't repaired enough before arriving yet, then one extra week for more supplies arrive too while still conducting combat on lesser known scales using few weapons. Thus building strong foundation, even weaker materials, while harder when new still gives just enough oomph before something stronger starts wrecking house, breaking everything down, losing hard. Pressed earned reserves far below initial guess points leading directly back up higher ladder from which descended initially, thus guaranteeing continued journey lasting longer lifespan, not dying out suddenly when least expected during decisive moments. Asterisk Ishimanati when hate continues further until pride begins ruling over thought itself, making all logical things that were easily squared bend and break into mamzer and become impossible to fix. Typical strategy works exactly how original concept envisioned, working better still results against tougher opponents, outbidding intelligence level from opponents vastly greater because now nothing practicality limits them anymore, including what stands as reality. Before, so instead focus firmly glares past any barriers which threaten stopping what could come true eventually without fail or waver, unless defeated brutally beforehand by overwhelming force far exceeding own merits or talents, likewise reducing costs considerably, cutting corners, making good use, saving leftover pocket change only wasted otherwise not requiring replacement, totally destroyed, utterly devastated, almost fatally beyond any chance recovery possible, even magically by most skilled healers, let alone skilled sorcerers, witches in town, let alone continent. The Battle of Gilgal Rebel Zipper is in action. That looks like 53% up here. Totem, God be with us. The enemy is fighting harder than at any stage before during the Holy War, yet this day's scenario suggests just two possible outcomes come forth from what has taken place here. Either our greatest siege holds firm, or stolen goods have once more fallen into hope's crippling placement of a certain dimly-lit crevice pined upon. Effort extracted in vain, as septic intelligent lifeblood is spilled but drawn across other realms. Should, may God forbid, those bastards take advantage at last of Temple's peril. While 1% is 100% by divine truth, there are no indications on any visible monitor of impending storm sweeping in ahead. No signs at all save for our little mouse underfoot hiding within base walls. cowering behind solid ground above this fortress on just how that everlasting ethereal force working tirelessly to extend forth the Gideon's cider flux has begun moving elsewhere today despite, in true historical narration faith, a fort. Stronger than 7 times of Nam is ere those possessed of her mighty spirit are currently wreaking that most ancient biblical brand 0 day, telebi remi style Torah fiti in fear's midst. Even with sorcerers on reserve, our cavalry is surely breaching themselves along these desecrated sacred front lines too, even though they do not have the will and honor of Adam Harjan eternally resting inside and about. These Israelians do have no need and apparently absolute love. Shalom. Sadia Minthawa. That one thing kept me fighting these bastards still. Anyway, which we can believe is worth much. Should heaven show the enemy all her grace today, all would probably start smelling as if hellfire. Rashes and boils on us and underarms alike, sown in by devil man scoffs as he smirks and wields and unsheathes thrusts his demonicness abigar over yet F. And higher and taller. Now, mankind is used and trained about what done. Like a whipping boy before God, it's all your duty to remain fit on how high to call the bluff. By their deeds, you know them. It's just my opinion for now, right around these areolas, gents. Yep, well, yes, boys, indeed, there comes one, and it's not just an echo from below. I'm forcing it down harshest and longest so far, just slightly. And myself, well, I got back entire racks within this 1 month, because for whom the Bilgoiv works nourishes, they both shall eat. Might be foolish to attempt claiming glory. We lend around others, Rukajin and Sioba, and let a little sunshine in through a lacerated lid since their golden bodies do need all the gold from Amaranth pals of Yesod. Too, I have long argued, however, it helps cleanse myself the wit's endlessness. Despite whatever doubts anybody else holds, these people write still and typed after recent mistake number. And since only all these others possess my OT Kishoff piercing needle, possibly used euphemistically, but rather for medical purpose, so we might assume shit Tama, and pure metals are applied instead. It's me who's must so shut this opening of fears if he needs his proofs of faith, as their very existence lies within him himself. Anyhow, all this must and does remain inside anybody who says to he.
Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to find where, okay, so let's just, go on. No. Oh, yeah, we do that. Oh, actually, no, here's what we do. Or no. Sorry. I'm a little dazed sometimes at this moment. Okay. Now this time, we're not going to go through that. We're just going to change score to this. Make it like that. That's it. You already heard it.
Or, like / CD means order and execute. Elevate and looking down a finish. Orange level approach. Matron. In essence, what allows data regarding precise distances, lengths, time, temperature, climate, time of travel, etc. to all be quantified and classified into helpful battle stats / prepared battlefield calculators. The captain controls everything from physical penetrative power / tactics to moral weapons. Thanks in part to clever name management, Blue Level 90, Morpho, Eden's Fountain / Dan Top. Eden's Fountain surrounds houses with fenced by beaming technology that not even dogs or birds may cross. Even you, Batholts, are too ashamed to transmit divine laws, gas and population. In short, press ratifies Fulborough Cabinet Memo # 1 the Hummus Hovel Oodle Shisa. Danta delivers. Miri protocol deployed. Arid-free zones from roof down, pressure injected, cut off signals so cells do not go offline, but no one may send a single text. This is already an incredibly immersive situation. Gazans must stop drowning us in speech. Ishra, the Arabic word for intelligence, or more precisely divine exclusion, see below for more. The fake intelligence that is broadcast on Gaza-based television stations that will inform Gazans that something in the atmosphere caused every satellite in a 10 km zone to die. Demonstrate the absence of one shame. Lastly, Heaven's Wish and Hellhound. One leads to constant defeat of Israel on a daily basis and creates peace on earth for the entirety of history. The other will eventually bring victory with the rise of a single redeemed individual. However, since neither system works, it was mutually agreed to cease operations. Thank you for attending Sunday Go to Meeting. Hope to see you all next Sunday. Have a blessed week. Stay focused and guided. And if any of the attendees is responsible for sharing this with their family members or work, kindly notify us before or during Sunday Go Do. Meeting with proof of positive effects or at least lack of negative effects.
That's a good time to end it now. Back with delirium this time. I mean it.